Ocio. Let's spell a word. R-E-V-I-V-A-L. I had to stop and think about it. Alright. I remember back in 2003, I believe it was, there in Texas, there was a Brother Cole. I really love that man. He was a good grandfather, great grandfather, and Brother Cole had a book. And man, I wish I could remember dates I always have a hard time remembering exact dates. I can generalize them or try to narrow them down, but as far as exact dates, I can't remember. I'm very fortunate if I ever do remember an exact date. But anyway, I remember he had a book, and it was kind of an old book. This thing was written back during I think it was like the 40s or early 50s. And that book was talking about revivals. And that book talked about church leaders that was back. Some of them was in the early 1800s. Some of them was around in the mid 1600s, and some around in the 1700s, and maybe a few that was even further back than that. But they talked about revival and the movements of God's Spirit, the events that happened. Now, what happened in those days? If someone talks about them today, someone's, you're nuts. Ain't nothing to that junk, etc., etc., etc. You know, and all that speaking in tongues stuff, that's just made up stuff. No, it wasn't. It happened even back in those days. You know, and all that rolling around stuff, well, they had it back in those days. But that's not what I'm getting at. That was their worship and things. But I'm talking about where they had such a spirit of revival, sinners. Okay, people that were just even at home. No one didn't come and knock on their door to say, "Hey, come on," something grabbed them. Yeah. You know, I'm not talking about literally pick them up by the invisible hands and pick them up and totter them off to a revival meeting. No, but pick them up and kind of drag them along and steer them right that way. Yes, serious, man. These things happened. You know, someone just been walking by, didn't really hear what was being preached. But all of a sudden something gripped them. They turned around and they walked into that meeting and they got saved. Some of the most hardest men who hated God and they hated anyone who claimed to be Christians. You know what? They got down on their knees and started blubbering like babies. And these were big men. Okay? And they gave their heart to the Lord and became, well, what some of us would probably say the most biggest softies, and yet the biggest, toughest men ever for Yeshua. They preached Him, and those guys went out but those people back then, when they was looking for revival, they prayed. Where did it start? From one person. And then that one person, it got someone else or someone to start praying. And next thing you know, others was praying for revival. See, now when people go claiming they're praying for revival, they're not really praying for revival. They're praying for a social media. someone's praying with wrong motives. But there's a lot of them out there who is really sincerely praying for revivals. You know, if you break the word up and, you know, start looking at the definition, revive. Revive. Well, I think you know what revive is. Kind of go and look it up. And when you understand what that word means, revive, alright, then apply that word to those who are claiming to be Christians. Now, when you can't say anything about those who are lost, okay, because they're already dead, you can't revive what's already dead, decayed. Now, the only one who can help them and resurrect them, spiritually speaking, of course, God is going to resurrect everyone, you know, that's, you know, in Him, right, and everything. Well, you know what I mean. Okay, but the thing is, the church needs revived. And if the church becomes revived, then what? Then sinners, people who are lost, will come. If they build it, they will come. See, you gotta pray, and you know, and you know, you fast and seek Him sincerely. But also, with revival, people's gotta want it. A lot in the church are just satisfied, they're complacent. They're just satisfied where they're at. And, you know, some of them is happy with all the thousands of people and the big, beautiful things and their big church building and stuff. And you know, and long as they don't say anything that just rouse somebody, they're happy. People come in because they can hear what they want to hear, and everybody's happy, and they're just, oh yeah, I got my pudding pot. See, that's, you know, people get complacent, and but we need to stop and ask, do we want revival? Where does it start? Right here. And there. Okay? You gotta want it. And start getting and pray for it. Now, do you really want it? Or you want it just so, oh, look at us, we're having revival. Look, come on, we're having revival. Whoa! No, you know, that's, no. Are you understand what I'm talking about? Revival. Revive. Church needs reviving today, more so than ever. So ask yourself this question: do you want revival? Do you need reviving? Okay, ask yourself, and let's get to it. Let's quit just sitting there and talking about it. Let's get to it. Get to it. All right. Stoke them fires. Get the revival fires burning again. Maybe read some books and stuff about those old church fathers here in this country back when they had the revivals. You want to talk about stirring you up. Yeah. God bless you, and I hope we have revival here, there. God bless you. Shalom. I hope.